What up guys, Frazier here for Complex News. We're rapidly approaching Avengers Infinity War, which in turn means we're rapidly approaching the finale of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it. It's hard to believe at one point this whole endeavor was considered a major risk, with a spotlight on heroes who weren't considered mainstream and an interconnectivity between films that hasn't been done before. Now, Kevin Feige's big gamble is about to both pay off and come full circle with a story that wraps up a lot of the character arcs that began a whole ass 10 years ago. Of course, as we all know, Kevin plots the MCU in phases. Phase 1 was Iron Man through the first Avengers movie, Phase 2 was Iron Man 3 through Ant-Man. Phase 3 has been the biggest slate yet, starting with Civil War and slated to end on next year's Avengers film with the idea that Infinity War and the still entitled film will function as a two-parter. Phase 3's conclusion will feel bigger though because it'll wrap up several if not all of the storylines that we've been in since 2008. Some actors' deals are set to expire, meaning some main characters might die at Thanos' hands. Even for those that make it through, Kevin has been preparing us for a Phase 4 that feels drastically different from Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Thor, and company's adventures that we've grown accustomed to. But we can't get ahead of ourselves. We still have to get through Infinity War first. Speaking of Yahoo movies, Infinity War directors the Russo Brothers were adamant that Infinity War will still be a self-contained story that prioritizes its own narrative above the task of setting up future films. When asked if the title of Avengers 4 will be revealed in Infinity War, Joe Russo made sure to clear some things up. It's going to be quite a long while before people see that title. We need people to see this movie, digest this movie, and then we can tell them what the next story is they're going to see. It's a complete story. It's got a beginning, middle, and an end, and the next movie has a beginning, middle, and an end in the same way that Civil War handed off to Infinity War, and Infinity War will hand off to the next movie. It's interesting that they're being reticent to treat this as a two-parter, considering that's how most of us see it. Joe defended the decision to hold off on Avengers 4 details more. It's serialized storytelling without question, so there is going to be a correlation narratively, but we really wanted to make two distinct movies. We weren't interested in making one long film and getting out the scissors and cutting it in half. We don't find that a satisfying cinematic experience, so this is a complete story, that's a complete story, and they're very different movies. Now regardless, the Russos acknowledge that next year's Avengers 4 will indeed be a quote drastic finale as Anthony Russo described it. Joe Russo elaborated that it's best to think of these past 10 years of Marvel as a book, and next year will be the ending of that book. Whatever follows will be something entirely new. One thing's for certain, no matter who's writing it, Marvel's gonna run this Hollywood for another 10 years easily. Only 10 more days till Infinity War though. That's all for now. For the latest on Marvel, keep it locked right here to Complex News on YouTube. For Complex, I'm Frazier.